Welcome back, everybody, to the NCAA Next Up Dynasty here on NCAA Football 14. Today, we will be kicking off the 2024 College Football Playoff. This is the first year with the 12-team playoff, so it's going to be really exciting to see how that changes some things. This is what the bracket looks like going into the playoff, and today we'll be going over the first round games. So we've got 4 matchups here. We've got 12 teams alive going into the day, and we will leave it with 8. Let's not waste any time and get started. We'll kick off with the number 6 versus 11 game. Cal against Notre Dame. The winner will go up to Fort Worth to play against the TCU Horned Frogs in the quarterfinals. Let's take a look at these teams. Starting with the Cal Golden Bears, the champions of the Pac-12. Cal is sort of the Cinderella team here going into the playoff. They were really not supposed to make it, and for most of the year, they just looked like a completely average football team. However, they were able to win what was a pretty weak Pac-12 North division, and then in the Pac-12 championship game, they shocked the Washington Huskies. Washington led for most of this game. They were up 24-6 at one point. Going into the fourth, they were up 24-9 and completely blew it as Cal scored 29 points in the fourth quarter to win this game by 14 and punch their ticket into the college football playoff. Being the worst conference champion, they were given the number 6 overall seed, which is still a pretty big advantage because they will get to host a college football playoff game and, of course, be a higher seed than any of the at-large bids. Now, their resume does not look that impressive. They lost 4 games, but they are playing their best football as of late, winning 4 in a row. Rufus Mosley has been inconsistent, but we know he's a very talented quarterback. They've got a great rushing attack and a lot of really good players on defense, specifically pass rusher Kobe Bryant, who dominated in the conference championship game, along with All-American corner Troy Danham. Their opponent is the number 11 seeded Notre Dame Fighting Irish. This is Notre Dame's first year in the Big Ten, and it was a pretty successful one as they ended up going 9-3. Of the 12 teams in the playoff, Notre Dame is the only one who I personally did not vote to get in. Personally, I thought Georgia or even Florida State should have gotten this spot over Notre Dame, and now it's time for the Irish to prove me wrong. At the start of the year, this Notre Dame team looked unstoppable. They won 4 in a row. They were the number 1 team in the country, and they've come back down to earth, but they do have some big wins, including one at Oregon. Now, this is a team who really prides themselves on running the ball. MJ Hill was a Heisman finalist. He finished second for the Doak Walker Award. He is this football team. They're not a pass team really at all, but they run the ball and they play tough defense. They've got a really good front unit. So I think this is going to be a really interesting matchup, and I think there is an argument that these are the 2 worst teams on paper in the college football playoff, but they're both very intriguing teams, and I think they have the upside to make a Cinderella run. I could certainly see a world where the winner of this game beats TCU in the second round. For those who don't know, I've been holding a bracket challenge over in my Discord server, the link is in the description, where people are able to submit their brackets for the college football playoff. A lot of people seem to think Notre Dame's going to make a run this year. They think Notre Dame's going to beat Cal and then upset TCU in the second round. So it'll be interesting if that comes to fruition. You may notice Notre Dame is ranked number 2 and Cal is unranked. Don't listen to the rankings. Don't pay attention to the scores on the bottom. Since there's no actual 12-team college football playoff in NCAA 14, I had to get these teams to play against each other in different save files, but the rosters are the exact same. So Notre Dame will start with the ball. It is very rainy here in Berkeley. I think that bodes well for Notre Dame because they run the ball very well. Although on third down, the tight end Ryan Sharp is stopped short of the yards marker by number 89, Eberle Keltstan, who is a wide receiver. I don't know what he's doing on defense, but okay. 2nd and 8. Motley looks to throw it. Fakes the sack. Goes downfield. It's Eberle Keltstan again, and he is gone. A 48-yard touchdown, and the California Golden Bears are quickly on the board. Quite the start for Keltstan. He gets a stop on defense, and then the first touchdown of the college football playoff. Neither of these teams throw the ball a lot, but Cal does it a little bit more. So I think they're at a slight disadvantage with the weather, but we'll see if that can be offset by them being able to play on their home turf. Notre Dame has it back. Here's the Heisman finalist, MJ Hill, breaking tackles down the field. He will not go down easy and is wrapped up at the 35-yard line. MJ Hill is a big, physical runner, showing it on that play. Now a 2nd and 1. Baz Boyd, the quarterback, looks to throw it. He goes over to the tight end, Ryan Sharp, who has the Fighting Irish in the red zone, as that'll be a gain of 16 yards. 3rd and 6 now for Notre Dame. Boyd looks to go short on the screen for Jared Richardson, the other really good running back on this team, and he loses about 4. So Notre Dame will be forced to kick a field goal, trying to make it a 7-3 ball game. So a good drive for Notre Dame. It was good to see their offense finally start to make some noise, but they were unable to do anything there. Nice start to the drive for the Notre Dame defense as Motley loses 4, wrapped up by Jones. Cal is moving the ball down the field pretty nicely, however. Here's the backup running back, Harrison Myers, breaking tackles for a gain of 20. The starting running back, Marquette Collins, is a senior. Myers is expected to be the full-time guy next year. And then on 1st and goal, Motley connects with Anthony Walker for the touchdown. I know on paper, Cal's probably the worst team in the playoff, but they look pretty good so far. And their defense makes another play as Hill is stopped shy of the yards marker by Thomas Curtis. That was a 3rd down as well. Through the first quarter, Cal looks really good. They lead 14-3. I don't think anybody could have expected the Golden Bears to look this good to start the game. Julian A. Butius kicks off the 2nd quarter with a gain of 11 following play. Motley floats it downfield. It is caught this time by Manamuto Damba. Rufus Motley has not thrown an incompletion. He has been dotting up this defense. 2nd and inches. Motley from the end zone. It's caught. It's Manamuto Damba once again, and Cal is turning this game into a blowout. They lead 21-3. Rufus Motley looks unbelievable, and the defense gets another stop. MJ Hill on 3rd and 1 gets nothing, wrapped up by the junior linebacker, Hyman Crawley. What is happening? Where has this Cal team been all year? They are dominating. Nice play after the catch by Eberle Keltston, who had the touchdown earlier in the first quarter to really start things off. 3rd and 8, Motley is crushed in the pocket. A big sack by Raymar Beckett, a projected first-round linebacker in this year's draft, as Notre Dame finally gets a stop. Their offense has got to do something, but Baz Boyd loses a yard, wrapped up again by Hyman Crawley. 3rd and 7. Boyd's pass is caught. Nice catch by Jaden Lewis for a gain of 11. Notre Dame's not out of this game. It's still the first half. There's still plenty of time, but their offense has got to get something going here. 3rd and 10, broken up by Wally Williams. Williams is one of the defensive ends. I don't really know why he was in coverage, but okay. So Cal's going to get it back. They're already up big, but Marquette Collins will go backwards on 1st down. Collins has been surprisingly quiet today. Raymar Beckett again makes a play. Beckett has been phenomenal, but nobody else on this defense has shown up. 3rd and 2. Motley on the option gets 12. That'll keep the drive going. Motley is more the runner than a thrower, but he hasn't had to run it a whole lot. But when he has, he's been successful. A 13-yard rushing touchdown for Rufus Motley, and it is now 28-3. Cal is steamrolling Notre Dame. Now, if Cal has learned anything from the Pac-12 championship, don't get complacent. Washington got complacent, and they blew it. So Cal knows not to make the same mistake. But Notre Dame's going to keep on fighting as Baz Boyd connects with Jim Kelly for a gain of 17 yards. Kelly, the team's leading receiver by a very wide margin this year. 2nd and 12. Boyd under pressure, and he is sacked for a loss of a couple. Another play by Wally Williams, who's made a few nice plays in this ball game, and that'll wrap up the first half. A shocking blowout. California leads Notre Dame 28-3. Not to mention, Cal opens up with the ball here in the second half. 2nd and 2, short throw caught by Noah Pichette, the tight end, stumbling forward for a gain of 13 yards. Cal has picked up right where they left off from the first half. I have never seen Rufus Motley throw the ball this well. This is remarkable. 3rd and 11. Motley going for the corner of the end zone. It's caught for a touchdown. Julian A. Butius. This one goes for him. 35-3. This is incredible. I cannot believe Cal is dominating this much. I understand Notre Dame's very questionable, and their history in the college football playoff is not a good one. But man, I did not think they were going to get steamrolled this badly. Notre Dame trying to still show some fight, but Boyd is going to be shoestring sacked on 1st down. This time the play is made again by Wally Williams, his 2nd of the day. Now a 3rd and 9 for the Irish. Boyd looks to throw it. His pass is caught. Again, that's Jaden Lewis with the first down. Notre Dame's trying to get the pass game working. I guess their thought process is if we can't win like we do normally, we might as well try this. As it's another sack, this time by Kobe Bryant, coming off his big Pac-12 championship performance against Washington as he forces a loss of 7 there on that play. Now a first down on the following drive for Notre Dame. Both offenses not playing all that well here in the second half as Boyd is sacked yet again. Whenever Washington's trying to get the pass game going, Cal is just sending quick pressure. Troy Danham this time is the one who gets the sack, making it a 2nd and long here for the Irish late in the third. Boyd runs away from pressure. This time he's going to make a play with his legs as Boyd with an unbelievable run for the first down, but there's a flag. The one time Notre Dame's offense does something good, it's coming back on a clipping penalty against one of their wide receivers, Cyril Churchill. So again, that would pretty much kill all of the momentum on that drive. Cal gets it back now in the fourth quarter. 3rd and 1. Motley gets nothing. Sacked on the play by the big D tackle, Chase Carlson, hoping to improve his draft stock here today. Notre Dame has it back. Boyd is sacked yet again. The Cal pass rush is balling right now. That's Kobe Bryant with his 2nd. Both defensive ends with 2 sacks each for Cal as Notre Dame misfires there on a 4th down. That's pretty much all she wrote. Cal stuns Notre Dame here in the college football playoff opener, winning it 35-3. I know this game was a blowout. I promise the other 3 games actually ended up being pretty good. But this was completely one-sided, really from the start. I am shocked that Cal completely came out the gates dominating this much. And I understand Notre Dame was a little bit fraudulent, but who could have seen this coming from Rufus Motley? 21 for 24, 4 touchdown passes. My goodness, did he throw the ball well. Marquette Collins was solid. He did miss the fourth quarter. He was a little bit banged up. Eberle Keldston was the leading receiver, although really all the receivers made plays and got involved. Shout out to Rufus Motley for spreading the love for his offense. And then the Cal defense, my goodness. I mean, they sent constant pressure throughout the game. The run defense was really good. The secondary was really good. I mean, it was a complete team effort from Cal. So they will go up to TCU to play against the Horned Frogs in the quarterfinal, and the winner will advance to the Final Four of this year's college football playoff. Notre Dame just did not have it today, and I will give them a little bit of credit. They tried to get creative with the play calling in the second half. They tried to, change up the offense a little bit, go from that option style that they normally run to really trying to get some more vertical passing, but it just did not work. Notre Dame played horribly today, and I guess I was right in not voting them in the playoff, and I think if this was Georgia, who I personally voted in here, I think the game would have been quite a bit closer. Notre Dame's defense also, like their offense, really not showing up here for the most part today. Let's get to our second matchup. Number 9, Michigan travels to Autzen Stadium to face off against the number 8 ranked Oregon Ducks. The winner will have the privilege of going up to Clemson to face off against the number 1 ranked Tigers. Let's start with the Oregon Ducks in their first year in the Big Ten. Despite having a much tougher schedule, this team was way better than they were a year ago. Last year, they didn't meet expectations. This year, they did. The Ducks really played well in conference play this year. They had some big wins, including dominating against Michigan earlier in the season. This is actually a rematch of the game earlier this year. This is a really explosive offense with quarterback Barrett Cherokee and running back Noel Hilaire, who are 2 of the most dynamic playmakers in the country. Oregon won the Big Ten West. They lost in the conference championship to Ohio State, but they still have a really good resume, particularly that Week 5 win at Michigan, 51-17, one of just 2 of Michigan's losses all season long. Barrett Cherokee was a little bit disappointing in the conference championship game, but we know how good he is, along with Noel Hilaire. And their defense, although not great, has taken a drastic step up from a year ago. And along with that, we can't forget to talk about their amazing offensive line. Their opponent is their Big Ten rivals, the number 9 seeded Michigan Wolverines. Michigan is out for blood this year. Last year in our 4-team playoff, Michigan, of course, was in. They were the number 4 seed, and they nearly made it to the national championship, losing in the semifinals to South Alabama. on a buzzer beater touchdown. So I think Michigan has kind of played with a little chip on their shoulder all year. Personally, I think Michigan's team was a little bit better last season, but this year's squad is really solid as well. Senior quarterback Bartholomew Blount is one of the most dynamic players in college football. And I mean, this Michigan team, they have a pretty strong resume. The only problem is the two really good opponents they played against, Oregon and Ohio State, both at home, they got crushed in both of those games. So I'm not sure how well this Michigan team can match up against great opponents. Their win in Week 13 against Penn State certainly solidifies that they can do it, but will they be able to do it here against the Ducks? Bartholomew Blount, Casey Aceron, and TK Thomas lead a really talented offensive unit. The defense has been a little bit inconsistent as of late, so I'm a little bit worried about that. But we know this offense can score a lot of points. So I think if Michigan wins, or really if Oregon wins, I think regardless, this is going to be a really high-scoring, high-octane game. These are two really similar teams, two very similar quarterbacks, both big-armed guys who are not the most consistent in terms of accuracy, but they have all the physical tools to scare opposing defenses. So I think this could be a really fun matchup, and personally, this is the game that I am most excited for. A lot of people seem to have Oregon winning this game. Personally, I'm predicting Michigan to win this game, but I could really see it go either way. I think these two teams are super even. Again, don't worry about Michigan being ranked number 2 here and Oregon being unranked. The rankings don't matter. The rosters are the exact same, so that's really all that matters. Should be a fun one here in Autzen Stadium with the winner going to Clemson to face off against the top-ranked Tigers. We'll see which one of these offenses will be able to outduel the other one as Oregon starts with the ball. 3rd and 11. Barrett Cherokee goes downfield, and it's nearly intercepted in and out of the hands of Andrew Mixon. He should have caught that. That would force a punt, and the Michigan Wolverines get the football. They lost last year in the college football playoff semifinals. They're out their blood today. Cherokee connects with David Hill for a gain of around 18 yards. Michigan's offense looking pretty good so far here on this opening drive as they quickly go back to the line of scrimmage, trying to outpace the Oregon defense. First down for Michigan in the red zone. Blount looks to throw it. Going to go back to Hill, and he will waltz into the end zone for a touchdown. Pretty good start for the University of Michigan as they get a quick stop, and they quickly drive down the field and score a touchdown to make it 7-0. We'll see if the Oregon offense can respond. 2nd and 6. Barrett Cherokee tries to keep it himself, but he loses 3. Maxo Bazile, the senior linebacker, hoping to improve his draft stock, brings him down. 3rd and 9. Cherokee on the screen for the backup running back, Mason Tartle, who breaks tackles. Tartle down the field, pushed out near the 10-yard line by Costello Benedetto, the Jim Thorpe Award winner, as the best defensive back in the country. 3rd down and 3. Oregon on the goal line. It goes back to Mason Tartle, and he will score the touchdown. So Oregon's offense is able to respond. They drive down the field, they get their touchdown, and this game is tied up at 7. The Michigan Wolverines have it back. We'll see if their offense can respond once again. 3rd and 1. Blount keeps it on the read option. Bartholomew Blount with blocks gets 17 yards. Blount is a senior, currently projected as the 2nd quarterback off the board in this year's draft, and likely a top 10 pick when it's all said and done. Is on 2nd and 7, goes short for the tight end, Isaiah McGowan. Down the field, the sophomore McGowan gets it to the 20. Michigan's offense is looking really, really good so far in this game as it's now a 3rd and goal. We'll see if the Wolverines can punch it in and regain the lead with a touchdown. It's a handoff for Emmett Denzel, who puts his head down and powers his way into the end zone for a touchdown. And Michigan takes a 14-7 lead. The Ducks have it back. Here's Noel Hilaire smothering the defender to the ground, and he could go all the way for a touchdown, and this game is once again tied up. Noel Hilaire has had a fantastic season, and he continues it by pretty much murdering a defensive lineman in clean sight. Oh my lord. And then Hilaire, after the nasty stiff arm, goes all the way for a long touchdown. This Oregon team has a very good quarterback, but the fact of the matter is they are a run-first offense, and they are led by Noel Hilaire. He is the engine of this football team. 14-14, still in the first quarter. Blount will go short for Casey Aceron, the sophomore running back. He gets 20 on the short pass. Man, Bartholomew Blount looks really good right now. He's been a little bit inconsistent this year, but he is playing out of his mind so far in this first quarter. About 20 seconds left to go here in the quarter. It's a 2nd and 1. Blount, pump fake, takes a shot downfield, and he is picked off. So right when I'm gassing him up, he turns it over. The senior cornerback, Caleb Kaufman, with his 7th interception of the year, and the Ducks force a turnover. Caleb Kaufman's looking like a top 100 pick in this year's draft. Probably going to ultimately go on day 2 in the 2nd or 3rd round, hoping to improve his draft stock today. But man, this has been a good game. 14-14, a lot better than the first game. I mean, as I said earlier, I promise these last 3 games are a lot better than the first one. 3rd and 3, Mason Tartle gets nothing, and he is actually hurt on the play. Tartle isn't the starter, but he has been really good so far in this game, so that could be a big loss for the Oregon Ducks, as it looks like they're going to try to kick a field goal. This is a long one, ranging from around 53 yards. The kick is up to take the lead, and it is good. So Oregon takes their first lead of the game, 17-14. We'll see how Michigan can respond after the turnover, as on 2nd and 10, Blount with a strike for the true freshman Kurt Hennig. One of the things I like about Bartholomew Blount is even when he's struggling, he's still a very confident player. He keeps a short mind, which is important at the quarterback position. You can't get in your own head too much. 3rd and 6, Kurt Hennig once again brings it inside the 10. Really, all of Michigan's receivers are making plays other than T.K. Thomas, the big senior who is projected to go in the first round of this year's draft. 3rd and goal now for the Wolverines. They have it at around the 6-yard line, hoping to score a touchdown and take the lead. Blount looks to throw it, has time, goes short. It's McGowan, and he is tackled shy of the end zone. Caleb Kaufman makes another play. He has been phenomenal early in this game for Oregon. And Michigan's going to kick a field goal despite only being a couple yards away from the end zone. I think they should have gone for it. They have a really good power back with Emmett Denzel. Or you could QB sneak it with Bartholomew Blount. He's really good on the QB sneaks. Nonetheless, the game is tied up at 17, and the Ducks will look to regain the lead here in the second quarter. 3rd and 10. Cherokee looks to go downfield. It is caught. Amante Rogers off to the races. A 52-yard touchdown, and Oregon is quickly back on top. The Ducks' offense is so explosive. They did not have a lot of big plays in the conference championship game against Ohio State, but they have gone back right to normal here against Michigan. Multiple 50-yard touchdowns today for the Ducks. We had the one by Noel Hilaire earlier, and now this one from Cherokee over to Amante Rogers. 24-17. Can the Wolverines tie it late in the first half? 2nd and 4. Cherokee looks to throw it under pressure, and he is sacked on the play, only losing a yard. Big sack by Rayleigh Akintola, the junior, and it is now a 3rd and 6 for Michigan. Blount looks to throw it with a strike downfield. It's Jeff Jones, and this game is tied up at 24. Offense, offense, and more offense. I mean, we really shouldn't be surprised that this game is a shootout so far. Two of the most explosive offenses in the country facing off against two pretty inconsistent defenses. Man, this has been a really fun start here. Can the Ducks take the lead going into halftime? 3rd and 4. Cherokee looks to throw it, and he is sacked for a loss of 6. So Michigan's defense gets a big response, and now Oregon will look to punt it. I don't think they've punted it once today, so it's been a quiet day for the punt team, but they're going to have to do it here on 4th and 10. Not a lot of time left here in the first half, as it'll be returned by Greco at the 30. Greco trying to make some noise, and this ball is out. It's a fumble, but Michigan picks it up. Oh boy, that could have been bad news. So that'll wrap up the first half. It has been a really fun game so far, 24-24. When these two teams played against each other earlier in the season, it was very close in the first half, and then Oregon completely dominated in the second half. So we'll see if history repeats itself or if Michigan is able to get the better end of the Ducks this time. Blount sacked there on first down by Caleb Kaufman, who continues to be all over the field today, really improving his draft stock. He's been great. 2nd and 9, Blount goes short, pass is caught by Isaiah McGowan, breaking tackles, gaining 12. McGowan's been pretty good today. Once a 5-star recruit, really playing some good football in this one for the Michigan offense. 3rd and 12 now for the Wolverines. Blount looks to throw it under some pressure, takes a shot for the end zone, and it is incomplete. Broken up in the secondary. So Michigan will look to kick a field goal, this one from around 52 yards to take the lead. It is no good. I think it had the distance, but it was wide to the left. So Michigan is unable to take the lead as it remains tied at 24 with Oregon getting the ball back with really good field position. From the 40, 2nd and 3, here's Noel Hilaire up the middle. Another nice run by Hilaire, who has been dominant in this game for the Ducks to the surprise of nobody. 10 carries for 137 yards and a touchdown. 2nd and 8, Cherokee is sacked on the play for a loss of about 4 by Michael Winters, the sophomore pass rusher. Both defenses are really starting to play a lot better, and I think it's mainly because of the defensive line. Both pass rushers are really playing well right now. Oregon's going to have to tack on the field goal. The kick is good, and the Ducks are back ahead, 27-24. Michigan's offense has kind of stalled out a little bit after a really good start to this game as Blunt escapes pressure and will run with it. However, Blunt loses the football, and it's picked up by the defense. Oregon forces a turnover, and the Ducks will get the ball. Nick Sutton, the true freshman, with the fumble recovery. That was Rayleigh Akintola with the force, flying in to make the play. That ball clearly out. That is a fumble, a massive turnover for the Ducks, who are really starting to gain some momentum defensively. We'll see if they can make it a 2-score lead. 3rd and 6, Cherokee goes short. Pass is caught by the tight end, Ezekiel Ayutondo, who is just short of the first down marker, gaining 5. So Michigan's defense gets a big stop. They could not afford to be down by multiple possessions, so they will sigh in relief as Oregon's kick is no good. He misses it. So the turnover proves to not be that big of a deal, and it's still 24-27. Here's Bartholomew Blunt on the run, past the 50. Again, Blunt keeps a short memory. He is not afraid to go back to running the ball. Oregon's defensive line, though, really is still playing well. They are collapsing the pocket, and Blunt is picked off here on the screen. Mike Jamison with the interception. He's got nobody in front of him. That'll be a pick 6, and the Ducks take a 2-score lead after all. A huge play by Jamison, the veteran slot corner. And I think Bartholomew Blunt has been really good today, but he has now turned the ball over 3 times. Sometimes that short memory and abundance of confidence can really hurt you, and that certainly is the case here with Bartholomew Blunt. So it's now 34-24. The Oregon Ducks take a 10-point lead, and Michigan's really got to respond here after probably the biggest play of the game so far, the huge pick 6 by Mike Jamison. We'll start at the 3rd and 5 here for the Wolverines. Blunt looks to throw it, and he is sacked. The drive quickly coming to an end as it's Hawkins who brings down the quarterback. So Oregon will get it now in the 4th quarter. Oregon's defense has really come alive. 3rd and 2, handoff up the middle. It's Noel Hilaire again with a nice first down to the 35-yard line. As long as Oregon is smart with the football, they should be able to win this game. Here's Barrett Cherokee on the read option, gets by defenders, and he is wrapped up in the end zone for a touchdown. Barrett Cherokee with the score, and Oregon has outscored the Wolverines 17-0. Here in the second half, history has a weird way of repeating itself. Just like the first time these two teams played against each other, it was very close in the first half, and then Oregon dominated in the second half. Now, there's still time for Michigan to come back, but they've got to do something quickly, or else their championship hopes could be flushed down the toilet. Blunt on first down, goes back to scrambling, but he is sacked yet again. Rayleigh Akintola with another sack. He has been dominant in this game for the Ducks. Akintola is a junior, projected to be one of the higher-ranked defensive ends in next year's draft class, and, well, his stock certainly on the rise with a performance like this. 3rd and 13. Blunt looks to throw it, goes for the sideline, and it is broken up. That was Nick Sutton again making the play. Michigan would elect to punt it, and Oregon has it up by 17 points. Cherokee on the read option, keeps it himself, gets around 12. Oregon trying to chew some clock here, try to finish this game off once and for all. 2nd and 1, inside the 5. Cherokee goes short, and it's Ezekiel Ayutondo, the senior tight end, with the touchdown. This game was tied at 24 at halftime. Here in the second half, Oregon has outscored Michigan 24-0. Wild how the tables can turn. So barring something crazy, it looks like Oregon should be able to win this game, but they've got to hold on here late. 4th and 3. Blunt goes short. Pass is caught by Williams but he only gains a yard, tackled by Caleb Kaufman yet again, and that's pretty much all she wrote. Oregon with a dominant second half performance. They beat Michigan 48-24, and Oregon will get the honor of playing against Clemson in the quarterfinals of the college football playoff. In the first half, this game was really close, back and forth, and then in the second half, Oregon just completely dominated. Their defense really played well in the second half, and their offense was able to do more than enough to win this game. I think the pick six by Mike Jamison in the third quarter is really what changed things for both teams. I think that really gave Oregon a lot of momentum, and it really stunted anything Michigan had going for them. I think Bartholomew Blount was really good, but he turned the ball over 3 times. He made big plays and he made bad plays, and ultimately those bad plays ended up costing his team the game. Michigan didn't really run the ball well, although Casey Aceron should be getting the ball more than 7 times. I don't know, just a hunch. In terms of the pass game, pretty solid, again, spreading the wealth, although TK Thomas, only 4 catches for 27 yards. He was shut down by Caleb Kaufman, who was phenomenal today for the Ducks. And then Michigan's defense was just not good. I mean, Oregon's offense was too explosive, and they couldn't handle them. Barrett Cherokee, 13 for 15, really efficient, but it was about the ground game. 219 yards for Hilaire, 110 for Cherokee. As I said earlier, Oregon loves to throw the ball, but the fact of the matter is they are a run-first team. Their offensive line played really well. The defense was great. Caleb Kaufman and Rayleigh Akintola in specific were both phenomenal in this game. So that'll bring us to our third matchup, Houston and Oklahoma. And I'm really excited about this game. Although Houston is the 12th seed and they barely got in, I think they're one of the most fun teams in the country. But they've got a lot standing in front of them. The SEC champion, number 5 seeded Oklahoma Sooners. Oklahoma, kind of like we talked about with Michigan, is playing with an extra chip on their shoulder. Oklahoma lost last year in the SEC championship to Georgia. If Oklahoma won that game, not only do they get in the playoff, but personally, I think they would have won the whole thing. So I think Oklahoma's got that extra motivation of being so close last year that they're going to fight even harder this year. Now, it's been an inconsistent season for Oklahoma, and although you could argue they're more talented than teams like TCU and Middle Tennessee State, the Sooners were not great throughout a large chunk of the season, particularly early in the year where they lost some tough games, and it really didn't look like they were all that good of a team. Of course, last year, Oklahoma had the Heisman Trophy winner, Masaru Lee, at quarterback. He was great, and through the first 5 or 6 games, they really missed him. However, with the current starter, Romeo Coloci, really developing nicely throughout the year, Oklahoma's really been able to find themselves, and they're playing their best football right now, and it is no easy task to win the SEC. After starting 2-2, Oklahoma's gone 8-1 since then, and they're playing their best ball. They've scored at least 52 points in the last 3 games, including dominating Kentucky in the conference championship. This is going to be a big test for Romeo Coloci. I think he's really improved throughout the season. They've got plenty of weapons on offense, specifically Darion Seals and Bryce Berry III, the latter of whom is projected to be the top receiver off the board. Oklahoma's got a number of future first-rounders on defense, including Rashawn Russell and Gilbert Smith. So these guys have a lot of talent, but they've got a really tough matchup here with the number 12 seeded Houston Cougars, who went 10-2 in the Big 12 and were able to steal that last spot over teams like Georgia and Florida State. Houston is obviously led by their passing game. This is the number 1 scoring offense in the country, led by senior quarterback Kane Sanders, who finished in 2nd place for the Heisman Trophy voting, only behind Cade Hutchinson. Now, the Big 12 has a history, at least a recent history, of really not playing good defense, and I think that's the case with this Houston team because their defense is pretty bad, and I'm a little bit concerned if they will be able to stop Oklahoma. So their offense is really going to need to show up today like they have all year. Kane Sanders has been absolutely fantastic. A lot of people thought he should have won the Heisman, and I understand why. He's been the best passer in college football. Not to mention, they had the best receiver in the country as well with Kramer Gildeford, who has over 1,500 yards and 25 touchdowns on the year. The all-time single-season record in the NCAA history is 27, so he's got a real shot to break that with him averaging around 2 scores a game. The problem is their defense is pretty bad. I like their secondary, but their front 7 is not great. Very similar to Kentucky's defense, and we saw what Oklahoma did to Kentucky in the SEC championship. Well, they completely ran through them with 550 rushing yards in that game. So although Oklahoma is a pass-first offense, As we saw in the SEC Championship, they know how to run the ball, and they know how to run the ball well. So I think this is a very flexible offense, and Houston's defense could have a tough time. So the Houston offense is really going to have to match Oklahoma if they want to win this game. So the winner will head to Middle Tennessee State to face off against the Blue Raiders in the next round of the playoff. I think if Oklahoma wins this game, they would be favored against Middle Tennessee State, although Middle Tennessee State's going to be a really tough matchup for either one of these teams. So Oklahoma will start on defense. I thought they'd want to start on offense, really set the tone, but they're going to see what the possible Heisman winner, Kane Sanders, is able to do. 3rd and 5 here on the opening drive for Houston. Sanders looks to throw it here, has time, under a little bit of pressure, going to look to run with it, and he is shoestring tackled shy of the yards marker by Gilbert Smith, a very talented defensive end projected to go in the top 10 of this year's draft. So Oklahoma gets the ball. Here's the junior, Romeo Colochi, coming off a great performance in the SEC Championship against Kentucky, launches a strike for Bryce Berry III. Berry, the talented senior, is the top projected wide receiver in this year's draft class, and we'll see if he can improve his draft stock. Colochi stumbling down, he loses 5. Todd Brown is credited with the sack. I was criticizing the Houston front 7 earlier, so we'll see if they can make me bite my words. 3rd and 9 for Oklahoma. Looks like Colochi wants to call an audible. Colochi looks to throw it, goes downfield, it's caught by Berry for a touchdown, and the Sooners are on the board first here in Norman. What a throw and catch by Romeo Colochi over to Bryce Berry. I told you this Oklahoma offense is dynamic. Houston's going to have to respond. 3rd and 3. Kane Sanders looks to throw it, scrambling with it, going to run for a first down. Kane Sanders is certainly not a running quarterback. He's not bad at scrambling, but he normally does not look to do that first. He definitely tries to find his reads in the passing game. As on 3rd and 15, he's going to have to throw it into the ground. Rough start for Kane Sanders so far. The Oklahoma defense is playing quite well through the first couple of drives, although Houston is in field goal range, so they should be able to score here, trying to make it a 7-3 ball game. This kick, not a chip shot, from around 45, and it is good. So it's 7-3. Oklahoma's coming off a really good first drive. Romeo Colochi and Bryce Berry III are both already right to work. As on first down, Colochi takes a shot downfield. It is caught inside the 10 by guess who? Bryce Berry III, who already has 95 receiving yards on the game. 1st and goal. Colochi with a strike for a touchdown. Once again, Bryce Berry. He looks like the number 1 receiver in this year's draft class, and if he continues to play this well, he could find himself in the top 10 of this year's draft. Romeo Colochi as well, with multiple great throws here so far in this game. The dynamic duo of Colochi and Berry is on fire right now, and Houston's got to respond. On first down, it's a screen for the running back, Jax Alcock, who has blocks downfield. Here's Alcock, the big power runner, 6'3", 230 pounds, pushed out near the 20 for a gain of 45. Now a 3rd and 13 here for Houston. Sanders looks to throw it, goes up the middle, and it's caught by Rich Cox, who brings it to the 5. Since his name is Rich, could he technically go by Dick Cox? Just an idea. 2nd and goal at the 1. Sanders is going to go short, and it's caught by the Fred Biletnikoff winner, Kramer Gildeford, with his 26th receiving touchdown of the season, tying the legendary Randy Moss for the 2nd most receiving touchdowns in a single season in NCAA history. If Houston were to win this game, it seems like a no-brainer that he could break that. Even if Houston doesn't win, he only needs 1 to tie and 2 to pass it. And with how he's played this year, he could certainly do that. 14-10, Oklahoma has it back. Another big game in the passing game, as that one goes to the 25 from Noah Hampton. Everybody getting involved here on the Oklahoma offense. It's not just Bryce Berry now making these plays. Final play of the quarter, another nice throw, this time for Eric Denman, who gets it inside the 5. Through 1, it's been a pretty fun game so far. Oklahoma leads 14-10. Kane Sanders has been pretty good, but Romeo Colochi, my God, does he look great so far in this game. He has been slinging the rock with ease. 1st and goal, it's Darion Seals with the touchdown. Seals ran for 300 yards in the SEC Championship game against Kentucky. He punches it in here, and the Sooners are back up by 2 scores. So as I suspected earlier, the Oklahoma offense is going to play really well today, and Houston's going to have to match them if they want any chance of winning this game. 3rd and 4 for the Cougars. Sanders looks to throw short. It's caught by Green, and he is tackled shy of the yards marker. A huge hit by the safety, Khalil Diop. So that'll force a punt, and Oklahoma has it back. 2nd and 6. Kalochi with a strike downfield. It's caught by Matt Montgomery, and he'll take it all the way for a touchdown. Romeo Kalochi is him. My Lord, some of the throws he's making today are unbelievable, and I get Houston does not have a great defense, but man, Romeo Kalochi is balling right now. Montgomery makes the huge play, and it is now 28-10 as Oklahoma extends their lead. This offense looks virtually unstoppable right now, and again, I get that Houston's defense is bad, but wow, it has been a fun start for the Oklahoma offense. Sanders on 3rd and 11 with a strike, and it's caught by Logan Ayers. He's the number 2 receiver on this offense behind Kramer Gildeford. And Ayers is a really, really good player in his own right as well. 3rd and 7 now for Houston. They've had a lot of 3rd downs today. They've been pretty successful in terms of getting 3rd down conversions. They had one earlier on the drive, looking to get another one, but Sanders throws it away. He didn't like any of his options. Great coverage by Oklahoma. And so Houston's going to have to bring on the field goal team. But there is a flag. This could be a big deal. It's a false start against the offense. So they're going to have to move back 5 yards. This could really change what Houston chooses to play call here on 4th and 12. The field goal unit will still come out onto the field. But instead of a 48-yard kick, this one is now from around 53. The kick is up, and it is no good. If it makes you feel any better, I don't think it would have been good from 48 either, because it was wide to the left. So Oklahoma's going to get the ball back. The Sooners are really in a good spot right now. If they can score another touchdown, they can really position themselves well. 1st down here for the Oklahoma offense. It's a handoff up the middle for Darion Seals, who gets a nice gain of around 11. Good run by Seals, who quietly has been pretty good today. It's just that the passing offense has been so good. And then this time, it's the 3rd-string running back, Kyle Webb, with the touchdown. Not Darion Seals, not the backup, Tyshawn Bankston, but instead the 3rd-stringer. And it's now 35-10. Houston's got to respond now. They do not have time to wait. They're down by 25 points. This could get ugly if they don't figure things out, as Brad O'Neal, the tight end, makes a nice play. 2nd and 2. Houston is moving down the field pretty nicely as Kane Sanders keeps it on the read option, and he will run in for a score. A big drive from Houston. They need it to get back on the scoreboard, although they still have a lot of work to do, down 35-17. Kalochi connects with Matt Montgomery once again as Montgomery gets 35 yards. Kalochi has only completed 11 passes, yet he already has over 300 yards. 1st down, Kalochi surveys the field, finds Bryce Berry up the middle, who gains 17 yards. Bryce Berry has been uncoverable today, and unfortunately for Houston, it's not just him. I mean, all of these receivers right now are balling. Oklahoma's drive would stall out after that, but they would kick a field goal. So it's now a 38-17 ball game. Again, Houston's offense has got to make some plays. Great throw by Sanders into the hands of Logan Ayers for a gain of 20. Kane Sanders really started the game off average, which is obviously not good for his standards, but he's really starting to get comfortable. Sanders with a strike in the end zone. It's Logan Ayers again. With Kramer Gildeford being shut out for the most part, Logan Ayers has had to step up as the go-to guy, and he is really making some plays here in the 2nd quarter. That's definitely Kane Sanders' best throw of the day, and if we can see more of that, Houston can stay in the game. But again, their defense has got to make some plays. Here's a screen late in the 1st half for Darion Seals, down the field into the red zone, 10-5, pushed out of bounds at the 3. Romeo Kalochi has now thrown for over 400 passing yards, and we are still in the 1st half, everybody. 1st and goal for Oklahoma. Can they punch it in? Kalochi looks to throw it, and he got it. It's Bryce Berry with the touchdown. This is an all-time historic 1st half from Romeo Kalochi, who has 400 passing yards and 4 touchdowns. This is like Heisman Joe Burrow territory. 45-24, Oklahoma leads. They're on pace for 90 points. And oh yeah, they start with the ball in the 2nd half, but they get stopped on their first drive. Look at Houston making a play here on defense. Hopefully Houston's defense can try to figure some things out to try to get themselves back into the game, but their offense is going to have to help make a comeback as well, and that won't help as Kane Sanders is in a lot of pain after being sacked. He suffered a back injury and is questionable to return. So now there's a new quarterback in the game, and Houston's going to have to focus on running the ball like that. 27-yard touchdown for Doug Woods, and it's 31-45. The official diagnosis for Kane Sanders is back spasms. We'll be monitoring his status throughout the rest of this game as Colochi is sacked again by Todd Brown. Houston gets it back. No Kane Sanders, though. Again, it's the backup Karan Baker in the game. As on 3rd and 8, they go for a screen, and Jax Alcock loses 2, wrapped up by Eric Gaines. So Oklahoma gets a stop. It's still a 2-score game. Colochi with a nice throw here for Noah Hampton, shrugging a defender as he gets 16 yards. Hampton is a very reliable slot receiver. He's going to have to really step up next year with Bryce Berry, of course, being gone. 1st and goal, Tyshawn Bankston with the touchdown. No Darion Seals in the game. Darion Seals is actually out for the remainder of this one with a concussion. You know who's not out? Kane Sanders. He's back in the game at quarterback for Houston as he takes another big hit, losing 5, wrapped up by Buck Ratliff. Kane Sanders is a tough cookie. He's playing through a lot of pain. Now in the 4th quarter, Houston obviously feels like they've got to go for it here on 4th down as Sanders launches a strike for Mike Green, who gets 14 yards. Houston's got to score on this drive if they want to stay alive as Sanders keeps it himself on the option with blocks. Touchdown, Houston. Kane Sanders with his 2nd rushing touchdown of the game. He has 2 passing scores, 2 rushing scores, and it is now 38-52. Houston is not out of this game. Their defense is playing a lot better, but they're still going to have to be able to play good football over the remainder of this quarter. 3rd and 3, Romeo Colochi keeps it on the option, annihilates a defender. What a run by Colochi. He hasn't had to run it as much as he did against Kentucky, but Romeo Colochi has still been effective on the ground. 2nd and 6, Colochi will look short, pass is caught, and that's a fumble, and it's picked up by the defense. Justin Bruneau loses the football, a huge turnover for Houston. That ball clearly stripped out, and we've really got ourselves a ball game. 3rd and 8, Sanders looks to throw it. Kane Sanders now going to scramble with it. What a great play by the senior quarterback. He finds the open rushing lane and gains 16 yards to keep the drive moving. 4th and 4 later on the drive. Houston going for it again. Sanders' pass is caught short, and again the drive stays alive. This time it's Jeremiah Collier making the play. Now it's a 3rd and 13. Clock ticking, around 2 minutes to go as Sanders is rocked by Amari Donaldson for the sack. And again, Kane Sanders is in a lot of pain. This time I think it's his hip that really got hit as we get a look at him trying to limp it off. Could that be the final play of the illustrious college career of Kane Sanders? Is on 4th down. It's a 4th and very long. Karan Baker back in at quarterback here for Houston. Baker's going to look to throw it. He's going to take a shot for the end zone, and it is dropped. Junior Brown had it in his hands, but he does not make the play. Kane Sanders is out through the remainder of the game as we go to the final seconds here. Baker on the Hail Mary will be intercepted. The sophomore safety, Hassan Trame, picks it off, and that will do it. Oklahoma is moving on to the round of 8. They will play against Middle Tennessee State in the semifinals, and Houston's season is over. I think you got to give a big hand to both of these teams. These squads both really fought. And I get that Houston's defense was pretty bad today, but you got to give them some credit. They only allowed 7 points in the second half. But yeah, there was a whole lot of offense. 553 total yards for Houston, 634 for Oklahoma. Total shootout. Let's start with Kane Sanders. Man, this guy's a tough cookie. He was banged up throughout the entire game, still making plays. He threw the ball really well, but I think scouts already know he throws the ball really well. I think seeing his character and his leadership on that field today is really going to be what convinces scouts that he ends up being a first-round pick when it's all said and done. Sanders was also the team's leading rusher. He scored 4 all-purpose touchdowns and did not turn the ball over. In the receiving game, Logan Ayers was really good. 6 catches for 121 yards and a touchdown. You know who was not really good? Kramer Gildeford, the Fred Biletnikoff winner. 1 catch, 0 yards. And yes, it was a touchdown, but still, as the best receiver in college football, that is inexcusable. Got to give a big shout out to number 9 on the Oklahoma defense, the senior Max Schergs. He was the man in charge of covering Guildford, and man, did he do a good job, because nobody's been able to cover Guildford this year until today. Again, Houston's defense started off the game pretty badly, but I feel like you got to give them some credit. They really adjusted well in the second half, but unfortunately, it was a classic case of too little, too late, and they were unable to win the game. You know why they didn't win this game? Because of this kid, Romeo Colucci. Oh my Lord, was he good. And when I'm looking for a quarterback who I want my NFL team to draft, I want somebody who is an it factor. And through the 2 games that we've watched of Romeo Colucci in the SEC Championship and now this one, he's got that it factor. And as we look at next year's QB class, assuming he returns to school, he very well could open the season as the top projected quarterback in next year's draft class, with other guys in that group including Justin Tucker, Barrett Cherokee, Ernie Capellar, who we're about to watch, amongst others. Bryce Berry balled out, 8 catches, 134 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Montgomery was great. Denman was great. Hampton was great. Seals was great. All the weapons were great. And then their defense was fine. Not horrible, considering how good the Houston offense is. They did have the nice turnover late in the game by Hassan Drame to ultimately ice it. That'll bring us to our final game of the day here in Gainesville. The Nebraska Cornhuskers facing off against the Florida Gators, with the winner facing off against the Ohio State University. Let's start with Florida, who is the highest ranked at-large team. They're the highest seeded team to have not won their conference championship. And I completely agreed with that. I do think Florida is the best non-conference champion in the country. This is a very well-rounded team. They've got a lot of young guys, particularly on defense, who are really starting to play well, and their offense is really solid too. Senior running back Elijah Bryant is one of the best players at his position in the country, and junior quarterback Ernie Capellar has shown a lot of really good flashes. Now, Capellar has not played as well over the past, I would say, 6-7 weeks, but that has not resulted in losses. So Florida started the year on fire. They started 4-0. Then they lost to 2 pretty good teams, Kentucky and Alabama, both by 1 score. And then other than that, they've been pretty much perfect, including a big win late in the year against Florida State. Ernie Capellar had a good year, although he hasn't played as well as of recent. But the star of the show here is Elijah Bryant. Man, that kid is a stud. They've got multiple great weapons. And on defense, it's a very young group, but I feel like they're really starting to come together and play well. Their opponent is the Nebraska Cornhuskers, and of the 12 teams to make the playoff this year, I think Nebraska might be the most surprising one in terms of expectations at the beginning of the year to where they are now. But Nebraska completely deserves this. They went 10-2 in a really good Big Ten conference. They've got some big wins, and their team has been really consistent. This is a tough, old-school, gritty football team. They play great defense, and their offense is the model of consistency. They've scored at least 35 points in every single game. That's got to mean something, right? Senior quarterback Jeffrey McCoy is very reliable, very efficient, and he is a big play threat. They've got some really good weapons on offense with DeAnthony Ford and Melly Boskets. But I really like this defense. They've got a lot of really good players, headlined by Aiden Milligan, one of the best defensive players in the country. Mike Jack at linebacker is really good. James Johnston, Tim Liang, Michael Medlock, Kyle Hefner. It's a really, really good unit with a lot of future NFL players. So I think this is going to be a really, really fun game. And of course, the winner will have the tough task of beating the Ohio State University. So let's kick off our final game here of the first round of the college football playoff between Nebraska and Florida. And I'm going to warn you now, there's a reason why I saved this game for last. So stay tuned, because it's going to be a fun one here in Gainesville. The Florida Gators looking to make it to the semifinals against the Nebraska Cornhuskers, a team who nobody expected to make the college football playoff at the beginning of the year, but they have made it. They are here. They are at the dance, and I don't think they plan on stopping this dance anytime soon, but they're going to have to beat the Florida Gators in order to do so. And I think this Florida team really is one of the 3 or 4 best teams in college football, so Nebraska's got a very tough test in front of them. The Cornhuskers open up with the football. First play of the game, Jeffrey McCoy rolls out to the right. McCoy with a nice first down run, but this ball is out. It's a fumble, and it's picked up by Florida. The first play of the game is a fumble, and the Gators force a quick turnover. That's Ryan Foster, the senior linebacker, ripping it away from Jeffrey McCoy. What a start for Florida. So they'll get it here on offense, led by Ernie Capellar and Elijah Bryant. 2nd and 7. Capillar keeps it himself, waltzes into the end zone for a touchdown. A quick start for the University of Florida as they lead 7-0. Picture-perfect start for the Gators, forcing a defensive turnover on the first play of the game. They march down the field, score a touchdown, and their defense is getting right back to work. As McCoy is sacked on the play, Sadiq Reed Jr. is the one with the pressure, forcing a loss of 3. Jeffrey McCoy's off to a rough start here. This is another guy who I think is really reliable, really consistent, so I think he will figure some things out, but so far he's been overwhelmed by this Florida defense in the opening minutes. Another sack! This time the junior linebacker, Bird Meyer Vincent, brings him down. Meyer Vincent's been making a lot of plays early in this game, so that'll force a punt, and Florida has it back. A great start for the Gators. They've just got to keep it going and not do something stupid like throw an interception. Capillar is picked off by Mike Jack, the senior linebacker. Everything has been going perfect for Florida, but now this is Nebraska's opening to make some plays and put themselves back in the game. 3rd and 13. McCoy looks to throw it, launches a strike, and it's caught by Melly Boskets, and he brings it down to the 1. But the booth would take a closer look, and Boskets did not get a foot in bounds. So this play would be reversed. I think that's the right call. He didn't get either of his feet in. So that means Nebraska will have to bring out the field goal team. Still not bad. They forced a turnover. They should be able to get some points. This kick from around 38 yards, so they should be able to tack it in, looking to make it a 7-3 ball game, and the kick is good. So we'll see if Florida's offense can respond. They had a really good first drive. That last one, not so much. 3rd and 10, Capillar looks to throw, and he goes short, and it is caught by Elijah Bryant, a great receiving back, but he only gets 5. I don't really know why Capillar decided to go short there. Why throw it behind the sticks when there's 3 defenders between Bryant and the first down marker? Nebraska has it back. Big run up the middle by D'Anthony Ford, the senior running back. This was a really rough first 2 or 3 minutes for Nebraska, but now things are starting to come together. Or maybe I spoke too soon as Ford loses 5 on the screen. Florida's front 7 has been really good so far in this game. They are disrupting the backfield. 3rd and 16, first play of the second quarter. McCoy under a lot of pressure. His pass is dropped. Johnny Lee Farr, the All-American safety, hoping to make himself a first-round prospect here, drops the easy interception. He had the game-winning pick 6 against Florida State in Florida's last game, as Nebraska will barely tack on the long field goal. Good kick, and that'll make it a 6-7 ball game. It's pretty low-scoring start. Both defenses look really good, which is, I guess, kind of refreshing because there's been a lot of offense in this episode. Capillar gets nothing, wrapped up by James Johnston. Florida has to punt it, and the Gators' offense really is not looking too good right now. The Cornhuskers have it back. Nice throw over to Jason Jude for a gain of 20. Jeffrey McCoy trying to get comfortable here, but it's kind of hard with how good Florida's pass rush has been, as on 3rd down, McCoy is sacked again. This time for a loss of 3 by Jasper Arnold. Nebraska's going to bring back out the field goal unit, 2 for 2 today, trying to make it 3 for 3 and take the lead. This kick is no good. Wide to the right, and the Gators hold on to their lead 7-6. 3rd and inches, Bryant gets nothing. He actually lost a yard. Aiden Milligan, a finalist for many big-time defensive awards, makes the play. 4th and 1, Florida goes for it, and they get stuffed. Bryant loses another yard. I don't think you can really fault Bryant there. The offensive line just completely sold on both plays. So Nebraska has it back. McCoy sacked again, this time by Ken Sanders. Both front 7s are completely dominating right now. Neither offense can do anything. Although we have a big throw here over to the tight end, Kamen Grant, who is just shy of the end zone. Biggest offensive play of the game. Phenomenal throw by McCoy. And then on 1st and goal, D'Anthony Ford will walk it in. And Nebraska takes the lead 13-7. The Huskers offense, I feel like, has had some good things go for them in this first half. But for Florida, it's been a total disaster. 3rd and 8, Capillar again throws short for Louis Diamantildis, who gets 6. Florida's offense has been a train wreck in this game. Ernie Capillar looks lost, but Nebraska's hasn't been much better as D'Anthony Ford loses 4, wrapped up by Ryan Foster. Florida has it back. 2nd and 9. Handoff here for Elijah Bryant. Gets a solid gain. Bryant has been pretty solid today. The problem is Nebraska knows that Elijah Bryant is the go-to guy. They are not letting Elijah Bryant beat them. They are forcing Ernie Capellar to make plays in the pass game, and as you can see, that's not happening. Ernie Capellar is allergic of throwing the ball past the first down yards marker. I don't know why. He's just not doing it. So Nebraska has it back. Short throw. Pass is caught. And the Cornhuskers are in the red zone. A big play by Travis Mitchell. First down here for Nebraska, looking to make it a 2-score game as McCoy keeps it on the read option. And this ball is out. A really hard hit picked up by the defense. Another fumble turnover for Florida. Great work by the Gators, forcing a turnover in the red zone, but their offense has got to wake up at some point. Capellar on 3rd and 2 looks to run it. He gets nothing. Ernie Capellar looks like he has no clue what he's doing. He looks like a chicken whose head has fallen off with how he's been playing today. McCoy runs into his own blockers, and he is sacked by Chris Allen, his 2nd of the day. This is hard to watch. Now going into the 4th quarter, both of these offenses, who have been so good this year, look terrible. Nebraska has scored at least 35 points every game. They might not even hit 20, and they're still winning. 3rd and 11. Short throw. No first down over to Carpenter. I don't know what the mental hiccup in Ernie Capellar's head is of passing the ball past the first down yards marker. It's ridiculous. Jeff McCoy is going through the same issues as Ford gets nothing on the screen. This is hard to watch. Both of these offenses are horrible. You think this is bad? Wait till one of these teams plays against Ohio State. The Buckeyes have the best defense in the country, so that's going to be even worse. 3rd and 7. Oh my God, it's a first down. Ernie Capellar threw the ball past the first down yards marker. I never thought I would see the day. And Capellar goes right back to that. Sacked for a loss of 5. Big play by the Nebraska defense. 3rd and 3. Capellar looks to throw it under pressure with a great throw under pressure for Deontay Perkins. There you go. Why hasn't he been aggressive at all today? He finally makes a big throw and it works. 3rd and 5. Again, short throw, this time caught by Chris Gentry, who is just shy of the first down yards marker. 4th and 1, about 2 minutes to go, a little bit less than, and Florida's going to go for it, obviously. They're down by 6. They're 0 for 2 on 4th down tries today. Got to get this one. Got to assume you're running the ball. Give the ball to your best player, Elijah Bryant, and let him make a play, or throw it. Capellar throws short of the first down yards marker, and they don't get it. I mean, this is ridiculous. Why won't Ernie Capellar throw it past the first down line? So Nebraska has it back, and now they got to watch out for a safety as Ford loses 4, wrapped up by Birdmeyer Vincent. 3rd and 13. They are going to run a halfback slip screen from their own 1. What a horrible play call. This is unbelievable. Florida burns their 3 timeouts, and the Gators offense, with under a minute to go and no timeouts, now has one more shot to win this game. They have not scored since the opening minute. Is on 3rd and 3. Wash, rinse, repeat. Capellar throws 4 yards shy of the first down yards marker. And now it's a 4th and 1. The Gators got to move quick. Under 40 seconds to go. This is it. The game on the line. The season on the line. Capellar throws it into traffic, and it is caught by Deontay Perkins. What a risky throw by Capellar. He trusts his receiver to make a play, and Perkins makes a play. The Gators are having trouble punching it in, though. 3rd and goal, under 20 seconds to go now. Can they finally punch it in? Capellar looks to throw it. Caught! Touchdown! Florida! Chris Carpenter with the score. Ernie Capellar did it. He threw a forward pass. I don't believe it. And Florida's now an extra point away from taking the lead. Nebraska burns 2 of their 3 timeouts trying to ice the kicker. But that's not going to work as the kick is good. My voice is officially shot at this point, and Nebraska's got to go for a Hail Mary. McCoy heaves it up deep, and it is incomplete. And the Florida Gators, by God's grace himself, win this game 14-13, and they will playing against Ohio State in the second round of the playoffs. Good Lord, this game was ugly. Now, it was close and intense, but geez, both offenses were terrible. I mean, my Lord, neither offense knew what to do. 281 yards for Florida, 206 for Nebraska. So as we look at the box score here, Ernie Capellar was horrible. I will say, he was really good in the final minute. and that's about it. He made big-time throws when he needed to. I'll give him credit, but he was playing scared. He was not throwing the ball down the field at all. So I'm a little bit concerned for him going into this Ohio State game. Florida's going to have to figure some things out. Elijah Bryant was solid, 21 carries, 85 yards. Bryant did not have many big explosive plays, but to be fair to him, the run blocking for Florida was atrocious. The receivers I thought were pretty good. They all consistently made plays. I don't think any of the receivers are at fault for how bad the pass game was. I thought Deontay Perkins was really good when given an opportunity to make plays. The reason why Florida won, though, was their defense. My goodness, was this defense unbelievable. Birdmeyer Vincent, Ryan Foster, Chris Allen, Giacomo Vivaro, Victor Ridgewood, Johnny Lee Farr. Man, Florida's defense was great, and Ohio State's offense should be a little bit worried. Their defense, not so much. Jeff McCoy was not great. I'll give him more of the pass than Ernie Capellar because I thought Nebraska's play calling was pretty horrible today, and I thought McCoy had more big-time throws than Capellar. Jeffrey McCoy did not elevate his team, but I don't think he's the total reason why they lost. Nebraska's offensive line was manhandled. They couldn't run the ball. McCoy was sacked like 6 times. So I think in terms of Nebraska's offense, it wasn't really the players not executing. It was more so the play calling in Florida's defense. Got to give a shout out to Nebraska's defense, though. Aiden Milligan was great. Mike Jack, tackle for loss, a sack, and an interception. Nebraska's defense deserves to be moving on, but because their play calling is horrible, they will not. So that wraps up the episode. 4 games down. All 4 of the higher seeds won. So we've got some really fun matchups in the next episode. Clemson, Oregon, Ohio State, Florida State, TCU, Cal, and then Oklahoma and Middle Tennessee State. It should be a lot of fun. That episode will be up within the next couple of days as a live premiere, just like this one. And then the following episode will be the final 3 games, the semifinals, and then, of course, the national championship. So that'll wrap it up. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Peace out.